Assalamu alaikum. This presentation is for BBA 2. The subject is Principles of Microeconomics. This is our lecture 4, which is delivered by Ms. Zahra Arif. Today, in this lecture, we will study about elasticity and its types. As we already know that there is an inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. Now the question is that we know that there is an inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. That is, price of the commodity increases, then the quantity demanded decreases. Now the question is that with which magnitude the quantity demanded decreases. That what is the limit, what is the amount by which the quantity demanded changes. That is known as elasticity. Elasticity of demand is of three types. Number one is price elasticity of demand. Number two is income elasticity of demand. And number three is cross elasticity of demand. In this, we will discuss just price elasticity of demand in detail. The rest two, income and cross elasticity of demand, we will discuss it in later presentations, in later lectures as well. First of all, we will discuss the price elasticity of demand. That what is price elasticity of demand and what is its formula, that how can we measure it. So the price elasticity of demand is a measure of how much the quantity demanded of a commodity respond to a change in price of that commodity. Means if the price of the commodity changes, that with how much quantity demanded changes. It measures that how much, means that we need to measure the magnitude now. In other words, it is the ratio of percentage change in quantity demanded of a commodity to the percentage change in price. So we can express this in a formula as well, that is EP, or we can say ED as well, is equals to percentage change in quantity demanded over percentage change in price. Now, you can see that there is a negative sign as well. This negative sign just shows that there is an inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. There is nothing to do with the magnitude. Okay, keep remember, this negative sign has no relationship with the magnitude. It just demonstrates that there is a negative relationship between price and quantity demanded. Now, we will discuss the types of price elasticity of demand. Price elasticity of demand is generally divided under the following subheadings. These are 5. That is, number 1 is perfectly elastic demand. Number 2 is relatively elastic demand, or we can say that the elasticity is more than unity. Unity means 1. Number 3 is unitary elastic demand, or equal to unity or equal to 1. Number 4 is relatively inelastic demand, or less than unity, means less than 1. And the number 5, last one, is perfectly inelastic demand. All these types of price elasticity of demand have been explained as follows. Number 1, perfectly elastic demand. What is perfectly elastic demand? Perfectly elasticity of demand is said to be when small change in price causes an infinite change in quantity demanded. Means there is just a little change in price causes a large, a huge, an infinite change in quantity demanded. That is known as perfectly elastic demand. Now, keep it in your mind that there would be change in price and change in quantity demanded. Remember that both are opposite. Both are opposite. If there is a large change in price, then there would be small change in quantity demanded. If there is a small change in price, then there would be large change in quantity demanded. Okay? What? If there is a small change in price, it means that it would be a large change in quantity demanded. Or if there is a large change in price, then it would be small change in quantity demanded. Now, the thing is that more or less elastic, you will predict it with the help of quantity demanded. If the more word is with quantity demanded, then the elasticity is more than 1. If there is a less change in quantity demanded, then the less word is with quantity demanded, then the elasticity of demand is less than 1. Okay. Similarly, here we can say that there is an infinite change in quantity demanded. So, if there is an infinite change in quantity demanded, it means that that is infinite elastic demand or perfectly elastic demand. The demand in such a case is hypersensitive and elasticity of demand is infinite. Such a price elasticity demand is rare in actual life. We cannot see this in an actual life. So, we can see it in a figure that at price 10, there is an infinite change in quantity demanded. At price 10, you are demanding 0. At price 10, you are also demanding 10. At price 10, you are demanding 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, up to so on. आपकी line जो है जाती जा रही है. That is a horizontal line. It means that the quantity demanded is changing, and changing. So when it goes on changing, that is perfectly elastic demand. Moving forward, the second one is relatively elastic demand. Relatively elastic demand or elasticity is greater than 1. So it means greater than 1 means there would be more change in quantity demanded. If there is more change in quantity demanded, then it means there would be small change in price. So we can see here in the definition as well, price elasticity of demand is said to be relatively elastic when a small change in price causes a big change in quantity demanded. A small change in price causes a big change in quantity demanded. We can see it here in our figure as well, that a small change in price, that it decreases from 10 to 5, 50% the decrease हुई है, and the quantity demanded increases from 5 to 15 by 200%. 10 to 5, just 5, it decreases by 5 and it increases by 10. Small change in price leads to large change in quantity demanded. When we have solved it in the formula, that change in Q over change in P into P over Q1, so we got that the answer is 4, which is greater than 1. So it means that the elasticity of demand is greater than 1. Now, the answer of elasticity of demand is -4, but here it is written only 4. So it means that the elasticity of is 4, and the negative sign just shows that there is a negative relationship between price and quantity demanded. So when you will write that what is the elasticity, then you will say that the elasticity is 4. Okay, not -4, it's just 4. Number 3 is unitary elastic demand. What is unitary elastic demand? Price elasticity of demand is said to be unitary elastic when there is an equal change in price causes an equal change in quantity demanded. What it says? Equal change in price causes an equal change in quantity demanded. Means the change in price is 50% and change in quantity demanded is also 50%. When we will put the answer in the formula, we will get that elasticity of demand is 1. Here we can see the second one, that is EP is equal to 50% over 50%. Moving forward, number 4 is relatively inelastic demand. Inelastic means less, relatively inelastic. It's not perfectly, it's relatively inelastic. So relatively inelastic means the elasticity of demand is less than 1. So less than 1 means quantity demanded will change with lesser amount and the price will change with greater amount. So we will define it as price elasticity of demand is said to be relatively inelastic when a big change in price causes a small change in quantity demanded. We can see in the figure as well that there is a big change in price, that is 60%, causes a small change in quantity demanded, that is 50%. So by doing it so, we get the answer 0.83, and 0.83 is less than 1. Moving forward, the last one is perfectly inelastic demand. Perfectly inelastic means the demand is not going to change, means there is zero change in price demand. It means that there is a zero change in demand. When there is a zero change in demand, what does it mean by this? That the elasticity of demand is equals to zero. Price elasticity of demand is said to be perfectly inelastic when a large change in price causes no change in quantity demanded. Means that the price is going to change, and change, but the quantity demanded will not change. When we will put the answer in the formula, we get the answer that is zero. Lastly, let's summarize the slope of the demand curve. We can say that number one is showing perfectly elastic, number two is showing relatively elastic, number three is showing unitary elastic, number four is showing relatively inelastic, and number five is showing perfectly inelastic. Horizontal, flatter, steeper, more steeper, and vertical. Thank you.